Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Let's talk about 8 choices that I won't change just to save a little bit of money or just to save money. How's everybody doing today? And as always, I hope that this audio video finds everybody doing well. Yes, you do hear some pages slamming around. All right, number 1. I will not stop buying paper products just to save a little bit of money. I think that actually purchasing paper plates, for example, could be sort of kind of a little bit of an investment because a lot of times people, they literally go out to eat or pick up takeout because they don't want to deal with dishes at the end of the day. But I just think it's just good to have, and it's very convenient, and you never know when you actually really want/need to use those paper plates. And if you get them at a discount, that's even better. So anytime you find something like that and that works for you, it makes a lot of sense. I don't use, for example, like those plastic knives or forks or anything unless I totally run out of, any, like silverware type thing to use, services like that. But I just don't do that. I will not give up, however, on the paper products. They're very important to have. In addition to that, I also definitely purchase paper towel. We really, really never, ever, ever know. Sometimes life gets messy for true and for real. Ever go with a kid in a car? Or do you have pets? You see where I'm going with this. So there are absolutely times in life, absolutely purchase the paper towel. Again, try to get them on sale as best as possible and stock up and save on that. There you go with that. Um, Let me see. Also, sometimes those handy wipes, they're very, very handy. Again, let's go back to the car. Absolutely, for sure, for true. All right. I will not purchase secondhand shoes. I will never put down the person that does. That is something they are okay with. That is something they are comfortable with. I personally am not. So, because of that factor and would bother me, first of all, number one, I would much prefer to get a brand new shoe. Okay. But if I could get it on a sale, that's even better. So, I'm getting a brand new shoe that would fit my foot properly. Everybody's feet are different and all this and all that. So, in my honest opinion, to me, it's more cost effective to get a brand new pair of shoes at a discount than just, settling for a second hand pair. But again, I stress and I mention again, if that's the best you can afford for your budget, you need shoes. So better off with the second hand shoes. Everybody makes choices. And let's see, what goes with that. If that works for you, then that's absolutely, totally okay. I'm just outlining the things that, in all probability, that I choose not to do. All right. I'm not ready to live off of the electrical grid. I can't live off grid. When you live in a city, you have XYZ choices for utility companies, and it's not many. Trust me on that. But what I do make sure that I do is I am a stickler about this, and I continue every single year to go with the equal payment plan, where there is a no surprise situation. Every single month, your utility bill is the exact same number every single month, no surprises. And I like that. Every single June, as most of you who listen regularly know, I check with my local company to find out where I'm at for the following 12 months. Many times I actually receive a credit back in the fourth quarter of the year that we're working with. Okay, so at some point when I see that, that's a nice thing. That's a nice thing because they still go along with doing the many things that we need to do in order to save on energy, and the drill, turning off your lights when you're not using the room, and phantom electric and all that stuff, unplugging things that are not used. You see where I'm going with that, and I follow all of that. So and it really pays off because what they do is then they project for the following 12 months based on past performance, how you would fare doing. And at this time, it is still at $80 flat, exactly $80 flat, which is amazing, all things considered, how things have been in the last few years with, the higher costs in general. I like the fact that there's no surprise element here. I know what I'm going to be paying. Gone are the days for me where, like, oh, I dread opening up this utility bill because who knows what it's going to be. This way I know. I'd rather just make my annual call and continue rolling along with that plan. For me, it works. I strongly suggest it. If you have this option in your state, totally check it out. But I cannot live off of grid. For me, it is technically impossible. So in my case, if I lived in certain areas where it's possible, I would do it. I would do it just for the heck of it. Why not? All right. This is another thing I will not do just to save a little bit of money. I will not buy cheaply made hot dogs. Anything involving, fresh meat or whatever, it is. I'm just sorry. I find it very distasteful. I will not buy cheaply made hot dogs with no clear description, especially anything that says made with meat. What meat? Excuse me, what meat? No, so I'm goofing there, like mystery meat, right? Who wants that? But honestly, for me personally, I prefer 100% beef hot dog. That's the one I prefer. And of course, I have my, favorite local preferences, for example, like Nathan's. I'm just saying, and I don't make a dime saying that, but I'm just saying, so there. All right, next, cheaply made chocolate products. Totally off my list. I will not buy it. Sometimes those cheaply made chocolate products, for example, they make really cute looking things like adorable looking bunny rabbits or anything related to Easter or other occasions throughout the year. They may look cute at Christmas time and all that. And then you bite into it. At least my experience, I can only speak for myself. And then in my own experience, bite into it. And to me, it's reminiscent of biting into wax. No, rather than that, I rather have less of and definitely a good quality chocolate because chocolate is a treat. To me, it's not an everyday thing. I consider like chocolate a treat. And like, I call them the chocolate holidays, like Valentine's Day, Christmas time. You see where I'm going with that? Easter time. I call them holidays of which we indulge in chocolate, and I prefer to have very good quality chocolate. So I am just saying this that one that begins with letter L. Love, love, love that one. Totally, totally so good. I'm just saying. There you go. But I have a trick to mention. I might have mentioned. Actually, I did mention in prior video. Whenever you crave chocolate, okay, and this is not the waxy kind. I would get like, decent quality miniature chocolate morsels, the kind that you use for Tall House cookies or chocolate chips or in brownies or whatever. The kind that you have probably sitting in your pantry somewhere. Okay. So what I like to do with those, I like to keep those in the crisper section of the refrigerator in its original packaging. And every once in a while, if I get like, let's say a mid-afternoon chocolate craving every once in a while, I will count out 23 of those morsels. Oh, Jan, that sounds so silly. Well, it might be. But 23 of those chocolate miniature morsels, guess what? It only equals 80 calories. Talk about portion control. Talk about having some good quality chocolate, giving you a little bit of a sugar lift in the middle of the afternoon if you so desire, or in the evening, or whenever you feel the need for a little bit of chocolate. And it is pretty decent quality chocolate while we're at it. So there, just something to consider. It's a fun little thing you can do as well. Very affordable because the bag that I buy is like less than $3, and there's a lot of those miniature chocolate nibbles in there, as I call it. All right, let's see what else. I just won't purchase used mattresses. Again, it's like reminiscent of the secondhand shoe thing. It's just not for me. I will never put down the person that buys them, and I will never put down the person that needs it and everything. But I have options, and I just refuse to exercise that option. But for those that at this moment of time have no other alternative, I say go for it. If you're okay with it, clean it thoroughly. And if you're mentally okay using it that way, great. Let's see, dumpster diving. It's just, I don't ever put the person down that goes dumpster diving. There are lots of things, interesting things to be found and to be resold. with dumpster diving. Please take good care while doing it. Definitely would never ever take something from a dumpster and eat it. To me, that is absolutely, talk about gambling. In my honest opinion, that is really a chancy thing to do. You have to be so careful with food. But one time in one of the buildings where I used to live a while back, one time in the compactor room, somebody left behind a wonderful karaoke machine. It was totally intact, perfectly put. The plug was fine, everything was good. I'm like, at first I walked away from it, and then I said, "No, I can't leave that behind. No way." So then I went back. I brought it back into my apartment, and dusted it off. I was so shocked and amazed that that karaoke machine actually worked. So it was a fun surprise. But like I said, some people on purpose, as part of their job, as part of their business, they dumpster dive on purpose to collect electronics or whatever it is they find. Maybe a rare book, or you never know what you're going to get. But the food thing, that's to me, that's extremely dicey, extremely chancy to do. And finally, I will never give up on allowing myself once a month someone I call mad crazy money. I still keep the number at $20. I could raise it if I want to, but I, just because I have that mad crazy money to get anything I want without concerning myself with it, that doesn't mean I use it. If I feel that need, I'll go for it. But if I don't, I won't. And so far, many times as the months that goes by, then it'll just pile up, and I'm okay with it. And I might just call it Christmas fund or whatever it is for myself or whatever, or just to gift someone else in the future. Like I always say, there are ways and there are ways, but I strongly suggest that we do what this clever lady does.